The night was quiet and cold. The wind moved gently through the trees. Leo walked alone on the forest path with a small flashlight in his hand. He liked the silence of the woods. It helped him think. He had no idea that tonight would change his life forever. A strange sound filled the air. It was like a whistle mixed with a roar. Leo looked up and saw a bright light in the sky. It was fast and glowing red. It was not a plane or a shooting star. It was falling toward the earth. He ran toward the sound. Trees shook and leaves fell. A loud crash echoed across the forest. Something had landed not far away. Leo moved quickly through the bushes. His heart was beating fast. Soon he reached a clearing. There was smoke and broken trees. In the middle of the ground was a large metal object. It looked like a pod. It was glowing faintly and making a soft humming sound. Leo took a few steps closer. The surface of the pod was smooth and warm. There was a small window. Inside he saw something move. It was a girl. Her eyes were closed. She looked hurt. Suddenly, Leo heard a voice. It was not out loud. It was inside his head. Please help me. I am not here to hurt you. Leo stepped back in shock. He looked around, but no one was there. The voice came again. If I bond with you, will you let me in? I am alone, and I need you. Leo was confused. Who was this girl? What did she mean by bond? He looked into the pod again. The girl opened her eyes. They were bright silver and glowing gently. Her skin had a light blue shine. She did not look human, but she also did not look dangerous. The pod opened with a hiss. Steam rose as the door slid aside. The girl slowly reached out her hand. She looked weak and tired. I do not want to die, she said in a soft voice. I came here to escape them. I need to connect with someone, or they will find me. Leo hesitated. His mind raced with questions. Who are they? What happens if I say yes? What happens if I say no? But when he looked at her eyes, he saw fear, not evil. He saw someone who had lost everything. What do you mean bond? He asked. Our minds will link. You will hear my thoughts, and I will hear yours only if you allow it. Leo took a deep breath. Everything inside him said this was crazy. But something in his heart told him this was right. Okay, he said. The girl smiled for the first time. She touched his chest gently. A warm light passed between them. Leo felt a sudden rush of energy. For a moment he could not see or hear anything. Then he felt her presence in his mind. Her name was Alira. Saw flashes of her world. A sky with 2 suns. Towers made of crystal. People running, ships burning. Soldiers in black armor chasing her. She had escaped through a wormhole. Earth was her only hope. Suddenly the trees around them began to shake. A loud humming sound filled the air again. Lights appeared in the sky. Alira turned her head sharply. They found me, she said in panic. Leo looked up. A dark ship was hovering above the forest. It was silent but deadly. 3 small drones dropped from its belly and flew toward them. Run, Alira shouted. Leo grabbed her arm and helped her walk. She was still weak. They ran deeper into the forest. The drones followed close behind. Red lights scanned the trees as they searched for them. Leo's mind was spinning. Just minutes ago he was walking alone. Now he was bonded with an alien girl being chased by enemies from another world. He heard Alira's voice again in his thoughts. If they catch me, they will not stop at me. They will destroy your world too. Leo felt fear, but also something else. A strange sense of purpose. He had to protect her. He did not know why, but he felt like she was connected to him now in a way that could not be undone. The forest grew darker as they moved. The sounds of the drones faded behind them. For now they were safe. But this was just the beginning. The forest was quiet again. But the silence was not calm. It was the silence before something worse. Leo sat behind a large rock with Alira beside him. Her breathing was slow. Her skin looked dimmer than before. The strange glow in her eyes had faded a little. Leo touched his chest where she had placed her hand earlier. That strange warmth was still there. He could feel something moving inside him, but it was not pain. It was something new. A second presence. In his mind, he heard her voice again, but her lips did not move. You feel it now, do you not? The bond is open. Leo closed his eyes. A wave of memories rushed through his mind, but they were not his. He saw a field of silver grass under two suns. He saw a city floating above clouds. He saw children running through glowing halls. Then fire, explosions, screaming. He opened his eyes and looked at her. Illyra was watching him closely. This is only the surface, she said. Our minds are now linked. The deeper we go, the more we share. Leo tried to speak, but the words came out slow. Why me? Because you said yes, and because you are stronger than you think. She tried to stand but stumbled. Leo caught her. Her body was cold. She was getting weaker. He helped her walk to an old stone tunnel nearby. It was half broken, but still deep enough to hide. As they entered the tunnel, a strange sound echoed from the forest. The drones were back. Scanning, searching. Silent but deadly. Leo pulled her deeper inside. She sat against the wall and closed her eyes. They are not machines, she whispered. They are alive. They hunt by feeling. Thoughts. Leo's heart skipped a beat. So if I think about you, they will find us. Yes. Leo sat still and tried to clear his mind. He focused on the cold stone wall, the smell of dirt, the sound of dripping water. But even in silence her thoughts came through like soft whispers. I was not supposed to survive. I was made to obey. I was made to serve. What do you mean? He asked. She looked at him with sad eyes. I am a weapon, a living one. My people created me to connect with minds, to learn, to copy, to control. They feared I would become more than they made. Leo was silent. He did not know what to say. A living weapon sitting beside him, wounded and scared, and yet she looked more human than anyone he had ever met. So, you escaped. Yes, I broke the chain and ran, and now they want you back. No. She said they want me gone. Leo felt anger rise inside him. Not at her, but at what had been done to her. He had never seen space or war or aliens, but in that moment he understood what she had gone through. What happens now? He asked. We grow the bond or we both die. What does that mean? Our link is open, but weak. It must be trained, or I will fade and they will find us. Your mind must learn to shield mine. Your body must carry my signal, or we cannot hide. Leo looked at his hands. They were shaking a little. Not from fear, but from energy. He could feel her inside like a quiet storm waiting to wake up. What do I have to do? Trust me, she said, and let go. He nodded. She reached out again and placed her hand on his head. A soft blue light passed between them. Suddenly, Leo was standing in another place. A place not on Earth. It was her mind. He saw giant creatures walking across a golden desert. He saw machines with wings made of glass. He saw Illyra as a child inside a glass cage. She spoke from inside the vision. To hold my mind is to carry my past. Do not let it break you. Vision shook. Voices screamed. The ground cracked. Leo fell to his knees inside the dream. Pain rushed through his head, but then he remembered her voice. I am with you. He stood up. The dream faded. The tunnel returned. Illyra opened her eyes. You did better than I hoped, she said. Leo looked at her with a new kind of strength. I am not going to let them take you. Suddenly, the earth above shook. Dust fell from the tunnel roof. A voice filled the space around them. But it was not a voice made of sound. It was a thought. A cold and powerful one. You are bonded with the target. Release her now, and your death will be painless. Leo felt the bond inside him burn brighter. Illyra's hand found his. She looked at him with fear, but also trust. They are here. Leo stood in front of her as the voice echoed again. This is your final warning, human. He tightened his grip. Then come and get her. The night broke open with light that did not belong to Earth. A red beam swept across the forest like a slow and steady eye searching for something hidden but alive. Above the trees, a silent ship floated like a shadow against the stars. No sound. came from its engines. No signal, no heat. Only silence and fear inside the broken tunnel. Leo was wide awake. He could not sleep. Not with that voice still echoing in his head. The threat had faded, but the warning remained. He knew now that this was not a dream. This was where Illyra sat across from him. Her silver-blue skin looked pale. Her energy was low again, but her eyes still held power. She was listening to the sky with her mind. They are no longer searching. She said they are now tracking. Leo looked at her confused. What is the difference? She closed her eyes. Now they know where we are. They just have to reach you. She stood up quickly then. We have to move. No, she said. Too late. They are already here. The ground trembled. Not from an explosion, from footsteps. Heavy footsteps. Slow and inhuman. Leo ran to the tunnel entrance. In the distance he saw 3 dark figures walking through. The trees, they were tall and sharp, covered in black armor that moved like skin. Their heads had no faces. Only a single light in the center. Red and blinking, he turned back to Illyra. What are they? She answered without looking. Hunters. They are not machines. They are not alive. They are something in between. Leo felt something cold pass through his chest. Fear took hold, but something inside him pushed back. The bond. It was awake now. Stronger than before. What do they want? They want me gone, and you with me. Then they will have to fight for. I've grabbed a long piece of metal from the ground. It was part of an old pipe. Not much, but it was something. He stepped outside as the hunters came closer. Leo felt their presence in his mind. It was like walking into a frozen room. No emotion, no sound. Just control. Surrender the target, said one of them in his thoughts. Your body will be recycled, your mind will be erased. Leo smiled. Come and try. The first hunter moved fast. Faster than any human. Leo jumped aside just in time. The pipe hit metal, but did nothing. The hunter turned and grabbed him by the neck. The grip was like steel. Suddenly a wave of heat burst from behind. Illyra had stood up. Her hand glowed with blue light. She raised it and the hunter froze. For 1 second, it could not move. That was all Leo needed. He broke free and smashed the red light on its head. The hunter fell one down. Illyra said with a weak voice. 2 more step forward. Illyra dropped to one knee. I cannot hold much longer. Leo ran to her side. Then we fight together. He helped her stand. Her hand found his again. The bond lit up inside them like fire. This time he did not fall. He held the vision. He saw himself through her eyes, a human with courage and a heart strong enough to carry another soul. He felt her power move into him. Not all of it, just enough. His hands glowed blue. His breath changed. The hunter's stop target is now altered, said one of them. Not compatible, not clean. New command. Eliminate both. The hunters charged. Leo moved forward. He did not think. The bond guided his body. His strike landed true. Blue light cracked armor. Illyra followed with a wave of force. The second hunter flew into a tree and broke apart. The last hunter opened its chest. Inside was a pulsing core. Warning. Illyra said that is not a weapon, that is a beacon. Before they could stop it, the core fired a pulse into the sky. The forest went still. What did it do? Leo asked, breathing hard. It told them we are not alone, she said. Now more are coming, and they will not stop. He looked up. How many? She looked at him. Enough to end a world. Asterisk. Leo was no longer in the forest. He stood on a cliff that touched the sky. 2 suns burned above his head. The wind smelled like metal and ash. In front of him was a city made of glass and light. Floating roads moved between tall towers. The air was silent, but full of energy. He turned around and saw her. Illyra stood barefoot on the edge of the cliff. Her dress moved like smoke. Her face was calm, but her eyes were full of pain. This is my world, she said, or what is left of it. Leo blinked. This is a memory. Yes, she said, and you are inside it now. The sky changed above them. The suns faded. The light turned cold. In the distance, one of the towers fell without sound. People began to run, but no one screamed. Their faces were still, their steps were heavy like they had no will. Leo watched and felt a weight in his chest. What happened to them? They were controlled. She said they lost their minds to the system that made me. The scene changed again. Now they stood inside a white room. Bright walls curved without corners. In the center was a glass pod. Inside it was a young girl with glowing eyes. Lyra looked at the girl. "That is me," she said. She was floating inside the pod. Wires ran through her arms. Her face was blank. The only movement was her heart. "I was created to learn, to connect, to understand emotion, and then to erase it." Leo stared at the child in the pod. "They made you to destroy feelings." "Yes," she said. "The system believed that emotion made life weak, but you escaped." "I found something they could not erase," she said. "I found fear, and I found choice, and I chose to run." The room darkened. A red alarm blinked on the walls. Doors burst open. Guards rushed in with glowing weapons. The young Lyra opened her eyes for the first time. Light exploded from her body. The glass broke. The memory shook. Leo fell back. The world faded. He woke up on the forest floor, gasping for air. The night had returned. The real night. Lyra was beside him, holding his hand. "You were inside me too deep this time," she said. "Your mind is not ready." He sat up. "I saw everything." She nodded. "Now you understand why they want me gone." Leo's head throbbed, but his heart felt clear. "You carry something real," he said. "Not a weapon, not a virus, something human." Lyra touched his chest. "Bond is not just a link," she said. "It is a mirror, and you have shown me what I was missing." Before Leo could speak, the sky flashed again. A new light, not red this time, but green. A different ship had entered Earth's orbit. Lyra stood slowly. "That is not them," she said. "That is worse." "What is it?" "It is the signal that brings the collectors." "Who are they?" "They do not ask, they do not chase, they only harvest." Leo stood beside her. "Then we stop them before they reach you." Lyra looked at him with something new in her eyes. "You speak like someone who has nothing to lose." Leo answered. "Maybe I finally have something to protect." The rain was not water. It fell from the sky in strands of light, soft and green, and humming with energy. Each drop vanished before touching the ground, but everyone left a mark in the air, like a warning. Leo stood under a dead tree, breathing hard. His clothes were torn. His hands were glowing faint blue. His eyes were different, now brighter, sharper. The bond had changed him, but not enough. Behind him, Lyra was kneeling. Her strength was fading fast. She looked up at the sky with fear in her voice. "They have arrived, the collectors." Leo looked at her. "Where are they?" "Not above us," she said. "Below." He turned quickly. "What do you mean? The collectors do not land, they grow." He listened. The ground beneath them was humming, a low sound like distant drums. The forest was no longer still. The trees were leaning away from something that had not yet surfaced. Lyra touched her own chest. Her fingers trembled. "My body cannot hold the signal anymore. The bond is too weak. I am slipping." Leo dropped to his knees in front of her. "Tell me what to do." The full merge. Her voice was soft but steady. "It is the only way to survive." "What is it?" "We become one, not just mind and memory, but body and spirit. Your life and mine together, your blood with my code, your thoughts with my instinct." Leo hesitated. "Will I still be me?" "Not all of you," she said, "but not none either." He looked into her eyes. They were flickering, now like light behind broken glass. She had no more time. "What happens if we fail?" "The collectors will spread across this planet. They will learn every mind and leave none behind." He looked down at his hands. They were shaking again, not from fear, but from something deeper. The choice was too big and too fast, but he knew there was no one else. "Do it," he said. Lyra placed both hands on his face. A bright wave passed through them. The forest around them vanished. He stood in a void. Black and blue lights swirled around him. Voices echoed in every direction. His own voice, hers, others, some human. "Some not breathe," said her voice in his head. Tried. The air felt heavy like water. His skin was burning. His bones were stretching. He saw flashes of her memories again, but this time they were mixing with his. He saw his own childhood with her eyes. He saw her prison with his emotions. Their worlds twisted together like roots of the same tree. Suddenly his chest exploded with pain. He dropped. She caught him. You are almost through. I cannot breathe. You are not breathing. You are becoming. The lights turned white. The pain stopped. He opened his eyes. The void was gone. The forest had returned. He stood taller now. His skin was warm, but not human. His heartbeat echoed like thunder. Lyra stood beside him, but something was different. She looked at him as if seeing herself. You are me now, and you are me. Their thoughts moved together without words. They looked to the sky. A hole had opened in the clouds. Thick green cables were falling to the ground. From each one, a shape was forming. Not machines, not life. Something between the collector celli pointed to the base of the nearest tree. That is where it starts. The root will reach the core of the earth, and everything will be known. Leo stepped forward. His hand lit with energy. It shaped itself into a weapon, but not one made of metal. It was thought turned real. He looked at Elireo. Said this would change me. Yes, she said. He looked at the falling creatures. Then let them see what I have become. Asterisk. The ground was breathing. Beneath the soil a pulse was rising, slow and steady like a second heartbeat, spreading through the forest and beyond. Trees began to bend toward it. Animals ran without direction. The sky turned green. Leo stood at the edge of the hills with his feet half buried in cracked earth. His body was no longer just human. His blood moved with Elira's energy. His skin carried light. His eyes held two minds at once. He could hear them coming. Not footsteps, not engines, not voices. Thoughts, countless. Thoughts moving together without choice, without name. The collectors. He turned and looked at Elira. She stood beside him, but her form flickered. Her body was light and shadow shifting in rhythm with his own. You feel it now, she said. Yes, they are digging into the planet. They will feed on memory first, then life. He listened again. The sound was deeper now. It was not just beneath them. It was inside them. Leo clenched his fists. Then we fight here. Not yet, she said. First, we must face the one who brought them here. A presence entered his mind. It was sharp and cold, like glass breaking in slow motion. It did not ask for entry. It pushed through the bond and spoke without voice. I remember you. Elirash turned pale. It is him who the first commander. The wind rose around them. The clouds split like torn fabric. A shape descended from the green hole in the sky. Not a ship, not a being. A fusion of metal and spirit, with wings made of data. It landed without sound. The forest turned quiet again. Leo stepped forward. Who are you? Figure tilted its head. You carry the broken creation. Leo looked at Elirash. Is not broken. She is unfinished, said the voice. And I am here to complete her. The figure raised its hand. The ground cracked. Green roots shot up and wrapped around the trees. They pulsed with a dark light. Your world will be rewritten, he said. Not today, Leo answered. He rushed forward. The air split with light. Leo's arm became a blade of energy. It struck the figure and sent him flying into the earth. The shockwave shattered stone and shook the sky. The collectors began to fall like rain. Their forms twisted and stretched as they hit the ground. Some walked upright. Others crawled like insects. Each one shared the same empty face. Elira stepped beside Leo. We fight as one. She raised her hands. The trees around them began to rise with her power. Branches turned to whips. Roots became shields. The forest joined the battle. Leo charged again. Each strike from his blade sent fire through the collectors. Each movement was faster than thought. His mind and hers moved together like wind and flame, but the commander returned. This time he changed form. His body split into 5. Each version attacked from a different angle. One with fire, one with ice, one with shadow, one with noise, one with silence. Leo blocked 2. Elira caught 1. The other 2 struck hard. He fell back. She screamed. They cannot be killed, she said. Not like this. Then how they must be sealed. We're inside us. Leo looked at her. You mean let them in, only their energy, not their will. He nodded. They joined hands. A white storm exploded around them. The collectors froze. The earth paused. Time bent. They pulled the energy into the bond. It burned. It screamed. It tried to break them apart, but they held on. They became the cage. When the light faded, the ground was still again. The commander was gone. The sky was clear. The green clouds had vanished. Leo fell to his knees. Did we win? Lyra knelt beside him. We survived. Is it over? She looked away. No one. Root still lives and it grows inside the city. Leo stood. Then that is where we go next. The city was asleep, but the ground was not beneath the empty streets. A root was alive. It moved like a snake under stone. It hummed like a song only machines could hear. Buildings leaned toward it. Lights flickered above it. The air felt wrong. Leo stood at the edge of the dead Zani. Lyra was beside him. She wore no armor. She held no weapon. Her body shimmered with silent energy. The bond between them was glowing again, but this time it was not stable. It is changing, she said. This time it is asking for more. Leo stepped forward. More of what? More of youth. Last root of the collectors had buried itself deep inside the city core. It had linked with the oldest signal tower. It was feeding on the planet's memory. Every thought, every name, every love, every loss. If we cut it now, she said, everything stolen is lost forever. And if we wait it, we'll rewrite this world into silence. Leo looked up. The sky above the city had turned silver. Not night, not day. Something else. We stop it. How? You must let me all the way in. She turned to him. Her eyes were calm but full of fire. The bond was only partial. Your mind held mine. Your body shared mine. But your soul did not open. Not completely. Leo stepped back. What happens if I let you in fully? I take control for one moment. And in that moment, we end the route. If I do not come back, then I leave myself behind. So you do. He stood still. The wind moved around them. The city pulsed below. Why me? Because you are not chosen. You are willing. Leo placed his hand on her face. She leaned into it like a memory returning home. Do their eyes glowed. Close your eyes and open your life. He did. Everything broke apart. He was no longer Leo. He was not a Lyra. He was something between. Something louder than thought and softer than light. He was floating inside the signal tower. The root was in front of him. It looked like a tree made of glass and blood. He moved toward it. It spoke without voice. It offered peace. It offered power. It said there was no need to fight. He reached into the root. The bond screamed. He felt every memory being pulled. His mother's voice, his childhood laughter, the fear in Lyra's cage, the joy in her escape, her first feeling of freedom. He saw himself through her eyes again. The human who said yes when no one else would. He burned the root with that memory. It cracked. He pushed deeper. It shattered, and then silence opened his eyes. The city was bright again. Lyra was gone. He stood alone at the tower. His body was his again, but something inside was missing. He walked outside. A child stood nearby. She looked at him, then she smiled. He heard a whisper in his head. If I bond with you, will you let me in? He smiled back. Always.